Okay, TNA. TNA. Woo. This is gonna be a little bit different. This time we can't even loop the slideshow. We gotta go step by step with this shit because a lot of TNA shit happened over the past week. Okay, first of all, we've had releases, we've had firing, potential sales, TNA asking people to fucking put up posters and shit. Okay. So as you can see, based on our first slide, we got Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard, apparently she was asked for her release and was granted her release so she can wrestle in CMLL. That's that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. There's a lot of people going around like, oh, is she gonna go to AEW? Is she gonna go to WWE? No, it's not gonna fucking happen. She's not going to AEW because AEW, for better or for worse or whatever you want to say, AEW is not going to bring in anybody who had any type of claims of like racism or any type of controversy of that level surrounding them. WWE, we know they don't give a shit about we know they don't give a shit about if someone's racist or not, but I don't think they're going to bring her in simply because they could have been did it. They could have done a Tessa Blanchard, Tully, Rick, Charlotte, Arn Anderson, Brock Anderson. They could have been done some shit with that if they wanted to. She was there. She was available. They could have been done some shit with that. They opted not to. So why now would they opt to do it? And if they did opt to do it, what would be the fucking point? Because Charlotte Flair is always injured. Is Charlotte Flair even going to be around for them to be able to tell the story that fans have thought that they would want to tell? And then furthermore, Ric Flair has been off the fucking chain. Are they even going to invite that into the whole situation? So, Tessa Blanchard, her going to CMLL is probably what's going on. I think she did like some type of interview where she was talking about, her home is in Mexico, this, that, and the third. And, if she feels like that and that's what she wants to pursue, then, that's what's up. But, I can't 100% sit here and say that I believe that part of the reason she is gone from TNA is because TNA is very well on his way to being a fucking train wreck. Then we got Tommy Dreamer. When Tommy Dreamer went on Busted Open a few days ago, and he was on Busted Open, and he was talking about, like, hey, me and TNA, we parted ways. I was like, okay, that's interesting. I immediately defaulted to blaming WWE. I was like, okay, WWE must have been like, get Tommy Dreamer the fuck up out of here. But I think it has more to do with just the fact that they really are, TNA really is cutting costs. And I mean, how much negative publicity financially can TNA have? I mean, it seems like it doesn't matter who the fucking owner is of TNA, what station or what platform they're on. There always seems to be some story about TNA and money, people not getting paid, them not having TV deals. Now it's like fucking budget cuts. Like, how much was your fucking budget to begin with? Like, I don't fucking know. So really, I think that it has more to do with the fact that TNA is just fucking, they're bleeding money. The people aren't watching AMC. I mean, that's just how I interpret this. And Tommy Dreamer just happened to be one of the casualties of their budget cuts. But the story for Tommy Dreamer didn't stop there. And I didn't do a deep dive. They said it was like a 3-part tweet or some shit like that. Some guy who's like a referee said some shit that Tommy told him that he wasn't going to make it. And from what I understand, there's guys like that, old guys like that, all through the wrestling business that'll say, hey, kid, you don't have what it takes. Hey, kid, you're not going to make it. I mean, that's not something that's not unheard of. But the problem here came from a comment or a response to that tweet where, and I forget his name, but apparently he's in the stable with the guy that claims that nobody watches my podcast, but apparently he knows I have one, even though I haven't dropped a video in 2 months. But I digress. He's in a stable with that guy, Shane Taylor Productions Promotions. He said that Tommy Dreamer basically told him that he can't push a cocky black guy, which, if that's true, oh my God. If that's true, Tommy Dreamer, with all due respect, is as dumb as he looks. Because you literally have two cocky black guys near the top of the industry right now in Trick Williams and Swerve Strickland. So you can't push a cocky black guy. That just doesn't make sense. And that's just some old school mentality bullshit that I honestly, I hope that Tommy Dreamer didn't say that. But at the same time, I have no clue why this guy would lie about some shit like that. That would make absolutely no sense for him to just fabricate that. So with that said, I think he probably did say it. I mean, here's my opinion on black guys in wrestling. A lot of black wrestlers, a lot of black guy wrestlers, a lot of us, and I'm gonna say us as I'm not a fucking wrestler. I'm talking about like black guys. I do know a thing or two about black guys because I am. Very good in the ring most of the time, but can't fucking talk. Can't talk. You had guys like Booker T for his era, good in the ring. I found Booker T entertaining every time he picked up a microphone. Booker T is one of my favorite wrestlers of all fucking time. Apollo Crews, great in the ring. I fall asleep when he picks up a microphone. Carmelo Hayes, great in the ring. I do feel like he puts his best foot forward when he picks up the microphone. It's just that for the way Carmelo wrestles and the way Carmelo presents himself, I expect more when he picks up a microphone. Trick lacks a little bit in in-ring ability, fucking dynamite on the microphone. Swerve Strickland could talk on the microphone and he could wrestle his ass off. Like, so, but I just don't understand the idea that you can't push a cocky black guy. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Now, if he's trying to say like, hey, I don't want to push, a cocky black guy because that's the stereotype that they always give black wrestlers, either cocky black guy or gangster. Like, then I would see that. But like, honestly, I hope Tommy ain't say that bullshit. I really hope it was a fucking misunderstanding. But yeah, man, this is not a good week for Tommy Dreamer. Mickey James tried to defend him, but he was talking shit about her at one point. So, like, it's not a good week for Tommy Dreamer. Then you have Sami Callihan. Oh my goodness. The whole shit with him and TNA, that shit was wild as fuck. That shit was wild as fuck. Like, you see it here in the tweet. Thought I was getting called today to be offered a position in creative. Nope. I've parted ways with TNA. Oh well. Onward to the next adventure. Check out my other company, Pro Wrestling Revolver. So, honestly, from where I sit, based on what Sami Callihan said, he poured into TNA. I find it completely fucked up the way they did it. Anytime somebody is trying to passionately fucking tell them how much you've done for a company, how much you're worth, and have that company, have that entity basically say, I don't give a shit what you did, you're out of here. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Like, there's no other way I could put it. And I couldn't fit the whole thing of what he said regarding him and TNA, but I'm pretty sure he told the whole thing on Busted Open. You can go check that out. But yeah, dude, like, it's really fucked up. I heard he went off on a Zoom call. I think that's what he said on Busted Open. Honestly, as a person, as a human who works, and I hate people who compare their regular everyday jobs to like professional sports, professional wrestling. I think we can all relate to where we feel like we've poured a lot into a company, or we've done our best, put our best foot forward for an agency, company, entity, and to basically at the end of the day be told or be made to feel like our efforts didn't mean anything. So from that standpoint, I think it's really fucked up. I do think, however, that he's gonna go be a monster somewhere and like just fucking produce. But wherever he goes, he's gonna help raise the tide at whatever promotion, his own promotion, whether he goes to be in AEW. I don't see him being in production or whatever for WWE because honestly, you'll end up running into the same thing, the same red tape. You end up running into the same bullshit with WWE that you'll run into, that you ran into in TNA. So if you want to go to one of the major promotions, I think that the best thing for him is probably to just go to AEW because I do think AEW carries a far greater sense of job security there than the other companies. Anything that's related to WWE, I'm talking about TNA, AAA. Honestly, if you're worried about job security, I just wouldn't fucking do it. I wouldn't fucking do it. And so now we got to talk about the rumors of an AEW sale. I'm AEW sale. So now we got to talk about rumored sales of TNA. And I'm just going to read this. This is from Blake Avignon, and I apologize if I butchered the name, but he covers pro wrestling journey, like from what I understand. So he said that Anthem's Lynn Asper has set a $30 million floor for a potential sale of TNA with his preferred price in the 40 million, 50 million range. The premium reflects toxic debt on Anthem's books that any buyer will be expected to absorb. No deal is imminent, but the number is out there. Part of the underpins that price. Part of what underpins that price. TNA's TV deal with AMC includes guaranteed money now plus option years that could raise its value down the line. AMC also holds right of refusal on TNA's next media rights negotiations. That ROFR is the wrinkle. A buyer isn't just pricing TNA wrestling, they're pricing a television deal they don't fully control going forward. And Asper's guaranteed AMC revenue alone gets him most of the way to his floor. Worth the history. In 2024, a group led by Scott Dearmore offered roughly $10 million, including assumptions of TNA's debts, valuing the company between $7 million and $12 million, respectively. Anthem rejected it outright, no counter. Whether that gap is real growth or as per betting the market has changed more than it has is the question. We'll find out what someone actually bid. So one thing I heard too is that WWE is not fucking bidding for TNA, and we'll see what AEW does if AEW does anything. But like I seen someone else say on social media, you hate a monopoly unless you're the one with the monopoly. So please do keep that in mind that people felt like WWE was a monopoly over wrestling. But if you have AEW buying TNA on top of already had bought Ring of Honor and also damn near what feels like owns New Japan, then you got another monopoly going on with WWE holding on to AAA and then TNA. And obviously, if if AEW buys TNA, then that relationship with WWE is going to go down the drain. Now, wouldn't it be fucking awesome? Wouldn't it be fucking awesome and interesting if AEW buys TNA and WWE keeps their relationship with TNA? And then you could kind of almost have like 10. I know this is unrealistic. Just let me dream. Just let me dream. And TNA could serve as almost like a limbo, like a fucking middle ground where WWE wrestlers and TNA wrestlers, New Japan, where all these wrestling promotions could interact with each other and be involved in shit together. and things like that. You have a non-invested party who books for TNA that actually determines what happens versus somebody from WWE saying, no, my guy's not losing. AEW, my guy's not losing. Like, that would be cool. It won't happen, but it will be fucking awesome. It will be awesome. So another thing too, and you know what? I don't think this is bad, but it just kind of feels embarrassing because of everything else that's going on with TNA this week. TNA Wrestling is expanding its street team and looking for motivated fans in Boston, Albany, Philadelphia, and Chicago. Street team members must be 18 plus will help promote upcoming TNA live events by hanging posters, distributing flyers, and more. That feels a lot like cheap advertisement. It does. Honestly, it does, man. Hanging up like that's feels like such an early 2000s, 90s approach to advertising. And me as a marketing major, I just don't know about the effectiveness of having people going around putting up signs like they're looking for a lost cat or dog, saying, hey, come watch this TNA live event. I mean, you need billboards, you need digital advertising, you need digital marketing. That's what you need. Those are the areas where you need to excel. Like, having people walk around handing out flyers is such an old school way of doing shit. That's like the guy that used to sell his fucking mixtape out of the back seat of his car or sell his mixtape on the street and shit like that. It's such an old school way to do things. Street team, I swear. I haven't heard of the term street team since I was a young 18, 19-year-old kid looking for a job. And I had the people who used to hire people to stand outside and say, hey, what kind of cologne do you wear? What kind of cologne do you wear? And then try to sell fucking knockoff cologne. Like, I haven't heard the term street team since then. So the fact that TNA is out here on social media trying to find people to be on their street team to get the word out about TNA, put the word out on the street. We up. Like, I just think that shit. I think that shit is fucking. That shit is low, bro. So, lastly, comes to TNA. We got Matt Hardy, and this comment here is from Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy said that so financially, TNA is okay. We're not about to be bought by WWE right now. I know that's the rumor. I think down the road in a few years that could happen, whatever. But right now, that's not happening. We're actually going in the opposite direction. They're actually saving money. I mean, if that was true, then why are you cutting? Honestly, man, look, me personally, when these wrestlers do an interview, I just tend to take the approach just not believing what the fuck they say. So Matt Hardy, in this case, I'm just not going to believe. Love Matt Hardy. Been a Matt Hardy fan since I was a kid. Matt Hardy would know more than I know, but I also think that Matt Hardy is towing the company line and saying what he needs to say positively about TNA. And I know historically Matt Hardy says what he has to say, gets what he has to get off his chest. So I mean, I don't want to sit here and just completely disregard what Matt Hardy is saying, but like the optics say opposite of what he's saying. So I don't necessarily know if TNA, because if you're saying that TNA is saving money, their actions their actions are showing that they're losing money. So I don't know, man. I don't know. BTAs for TNA, I'm gonna be honest, bro. They ain't got no BTAs, bro. TNA ain't got no BTAs this week, bro. Like, it's just honestly, you know, Amazing Red came back. Oh, like, that's cool, man. But like, the publicity, the negative publicity TNA has gotten this week. Honestly, if I could give TNA negative BTAs, I would. I would. This has just been optically has just been a horrible week for TNA. All right, guys, that's it. Now you know my opinion. But what's your opinion? Who had the best week? WWE, AEW, TNA. Drop your BTAs in the comments. Like, subscribe. You know the name. It's MFG DeeZ. You know the game. It's the Crimson Mask Show, Crimson Mask Gang, baby. We out.